Hey folks, KT here, and it sucks out here. It's in the garage. It's not attached to the house, so it's a little chilly. That's why I still have this kilt on. So today, yeah, and this is a Mountain Hardware fleece. If you get a chance to get one of these, they rock. So today we are talking about pleats and why it's important to take care of your kilts. And you know, everybody's you wonder, you throw a kilt on, why is it a big deal, where it's going, everything? Well, this will kind of I've got, I think, 6 different kilts that we're gonna go through. 3 modern style and 3 knife pleat tartan kilts. One of the we've got 3 different pleating styles on the modern kilts. So we're going to go through those, and this swish factor is just about 0 on modern non-tartan, non-knife pleat kilts. Knife pleats, kingies pleats, double knife pleats. There's not a whole lot going on there. And when you start looking at more exotic materials, it's even less. The leather kilt isn't even going to be out here because, it's too thick. There's not much there. Hey Angela, welcome to the shenanigans. So I've got a 511. That's going to be the first one because the side do that. It doesn't do that at all. I have a custom made sewn box pleat that's made out of cotton, and I've got a camo kilt which uses the kingies style. I have 3 different weight and material kilts. I have the very first kilt I ever bought, which was a piece of crap in my eyes, but hey, I'll show you guys what it's about. Then I've got a middle of the road, which is my got kilt, Brotherhood of the Kilt Tartan, and I have my handmade wool from Scotland kilt. So, can you hear me? I've got a heater right here because it's about 2 degrees, but it's going to get pretty warm pretty quick. I'm going to turn on the treadmill, and I want you to let me know. I'm going to try to talk. I want you to hear me over the treadmill, all right? And that is a little garage. It's full of crap. And bonus points if anybody has at that. So, can you guys hear me okay with that? Connection choppy. So hopefully that'll clear up soon. You guys hear me okay out there over the treadmill? Turn it down while you guys are let me know. Just want to make sure that there's no real problem. Alright, so we're going to start from what I consider worst to best as far as the swish factor, or some people call it the mesmerizer, because those of you who enjoy observing people wearing kilts, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to start out with that custom job that I have. So first and foremost, if you're ever hey Corey, I'm going to get your video. I know you put up videos this afternoon. So first, I'm going to start off with the custom box pleat. Show you what it looks like here. And 2 reasons why I'm using this kilt to start with. 1 is the pleats are sewn in and they don't move too much. 2, it pretty much lies in a pile someplace. So this has to do with the 2 main things that we're talking about here is 1, kilt maintenance, which means making sure you store your kilt properly. The second is how it moves when you're walking. I think this thing's set for about 2 miles an hour when I'm moving. So I'm only going to walk for a couple of seconds because I'm out of shape. So, and I'm just using a normal pants belt, nothing fancy. But like I was saying before, if you're ever going to get on a treadmill, take off the sporran. Male or female, does not matter what you've got going on under your kilt. It sucks walking long distances with a full sporran. So the sporran has to go. So the first one we're going to talk about is this one. This was handmade for me some years ago. It has a very innovative fast clip design on the clip, so it doesn't use leather straps. It uses nylon webbing and fast clips, which is very cool. Very adjustable, but you'll see what I'm talking about when I mean that the thing doesn't move like a normal kilt at all. And no, I'm not changing in front of the camera. So, as I've said before, walking on a treadmill, sporing goes away. Huge buckle kilt belt goes away because that stuff just gets in your way. So, this first one, the other thing this is gonna help show, and I didn't bring that kilt. I have one kilt that's way too long, and it'll explain all too well why you don't want a kilt that's down past your mid-knee. So with this kilt, I don't belt because the adjustment on it, as you can see, it fits pretty decently. But the back, as you can see, these are sewn pleats, and they just kind of sit there. So let's make sure I'm sitting in the picture. So if I turn this off, look, it doesn't hardly do anything. So with the Kingies pleats, the sewn pleats, and it's a cotton material, so it kind of just sits there like you're wearing a bag. Ladies out there or anyone else worn a tighter dress or a less free-flowing garment, I guess you would say, this is kind of like that. It's like wearing a burlap bag around your waist. It just kind of sits there. Doesn't do anything for you. Now, a lot of people wear kilts for a lot of different reasons, but if you're out there trying to attract attention of suitors, the box pleats, especially the sewn box pleats, not the way to go because it just kind of hangs there like a bag. It doesn't really move too terribly much. Now, the next one is my 511 Tactical, which in every other imaginable sense of the word is a piece of awesomeness. It is incredibly resilient to everything. You can dye them, you can beat them up, you can throw them in the washing machine, you can do just about whatever you want. So this is the 511. And again, this one actually fits pretty well. This is completely non-adjustable. So what you got is what you got. So here's why I say this is the second from the bottom as far as the swish factor. The box pleat that I had, especially sewn box pleats, there's a whole lot of reinforcement there to keep things where they are. And it kind of sticks there. With the 511, it's not that bad, but there is one huge thing. With the swishing of the pleats and watching how they move, obviously there's defined pleats. With the 511, it's more of a utilitarian style garment. It does perform amazingly well in the woods or in situations where rough and tumble or you're going to get dirty or muddy or whatever. The pocket systems, especially for those of you who enjoy firearms, awesome. The problem is, see, I have this apron in the front, which is very cool, but it's wrinkly. But the problem is, there's an apron in the back, right here. I don't understand. I don't get it. But it does not act like a kilt in any way that I've ever experienced before. Now, I will say this. I still wear it all the time because it's a fantastic kilt. It is very well made. All the stitching, it's double and triple. All the pleats here, the sewn pleats, they're triple stitched. It's made out of the latest generation of ripstop nylon. They're Teflon coated when you buy them. They're awesome. It's just a funky pleat in the back. Now, you'll see what I mean in a second. So this is what the 511 looks like. And as you can see, it's rumpled up. One of the problems with the 511s and other kilts of this design, these style materials, the lightweight, alternative materials, the cottons, the synthetics, is that they wrinkle really easily. I've seen several pictures on the people of Walmart where they'd have pictures of guys wearing their utility kilts out, and they'd be all wrinkled, and it'd be like, oh, looks like it was wash day type of things. So let's get to it with the 511. Show you what's going on with this one. As you can see, I don't even have to go very long. You can tell really quick. It just sits there. Because of the construction of where the pleats are in the back of the kilt, they don't move. So there's not a whole lot there. So for those of you who enjoy walking behind guys in kilts or girls in kilts, whatever, the modern style kilt like this one doesn't really put a whole lot of extra oomph into it, if you get my meaning. So next, and the last modern kilt is going to be a I'll actually use this one instead. This is more of a I'm going to say traditional or standard utility kilt. It's got Velcro on it, so I do need my belt so it doesn't fall off while I'm walking. But this one is made out of a twill, and it is a little small for me, so you can see the it's not centered right. There we go. So the twill cotton like this one wrinkles really easily, and it stays that way. And in the back, if you'll notice, the pleats, once they get out of whack, they kind of stay that way. So with these modern, the twills especially, you have to treat them, you have to iron them a lot. I wear these a lot when I'm if I'm driving long distances or anything like that, doing any outside work, stuff like that, simply because if I'm going to go someplace, I get in the truck, I could have spent hours pleating this thing, I get in the truck and I'm out of the truck, and the pleats are kind of wonky a little bit. Now, I mean, they are sewn in, so they stay where they are, but they get rumpled up pretty bad. I had one kilt that I was going to show that has been in a plastic bag for the better part of 2 years because it was a demo that somebody had made and thought it was a great idea with the fabric in. It was one of those coated fabrics, and they're like, "Oh, these are awesome! You can wash them and everything." I chucked it in the washing machine. That whole coating came off the back, so it's very, very thin and kind of meh. It's not thick enough anymore to where it's like 3 or 4 ounce material without that coating. So we'll show you what these look like. Now, this is the traditional utility kingies pleats, where in the back the pleats meet in the middle. A lot of kilt makers make stuff like this, and they're actually not too bad. You can see they kind of move a little bit. They kind of move a little bit, but as with all of the other non-knife pleat style kilts, the pleats want to go one way, but the other half want to go the other way, so they kind of meet in the middle and don't really do anything. So that's what the modern kilts. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of swish factor there. Now we're going to look at some of the knife pleat, I guess traditionally styled kilts, where they have a knife pleat. They're all tartan, made out of various materials, 3 different weights, 3 different materials. And you'll see a significant difference from the lightweight non-wool to the medium. I think it's either a polyviscose or acrylic, and then you've got the full-blown wool. So we'll check those out here. Now, this first one happens to be the very first kilt I actually spent money on, but it was the third one that I received. The company that made this is no longer in business, because they screwed a lot of people. Still doesn't fit me. At the time, when I first bought this, it would have fit myself and a friend because I was, I want to say a size 32, 34 or something like that. I'm up to around a 38 right now. So, it's a okay, so here we are. This will do. So here's the kilt. It's a McTavish tartan. It's very thin. It's probably the lightest kilt that I own. It's not much thicker than some of my heavyweight t-shirts. It's very thin. It moves a lot, but the pleats are a bitch to keep. These lightweight, non-wool kilts, I have to maintain the pleats a lot. This one I haven't worn. I don't think I've worn this one in 10 years. It's just way too light. I was expecting a Stillwater heavyweight style kilt, and I got the lightest kilt that I've ever purchased. Ever. So it doesn't get worn at all, especially in these cold winter nights. But it is a traditional knife pleat. It has the narrower knife pleats. You have several different variations on how deep the knife pleats go. On this one, as you can see, the pleats are only about an inch or so deep. Right there, that's as far as it goes. So they're very shallow. It's only, I think, maybe a 5-yard kilt, maybe a 4, I don't know. But there's not a lot of material back there. So this will be the first kilt that I've demoed tonight that actually does move like people would expect a kilt to move, but it's very, very lightweight. This is a summer kilt at best. And again, like I said, the company that made this was put out of business. Hell, I think even, yep, it showed up, and if you look right there, if you can see that, you see that right there? That's a hole that was in the kilt when I received it right there. So, piece of junk. But it fits okay now, but when I got it, it didn't fit. It was way, way too big. It fell right off. So this is what the really light kilts look like. Now, as you can see, as you get going, it does start moving, and it does kind of sway back and forth pretty nicely. But again, with the lighter weight knife pleated kilts, the pleat management is always key. A lot of the lightweight ones usually have their pleats sewn in, but they do tend to rumple pretty easily. If you're looking for a kilt that's kind of low maintenance, you want the heavier, thicker kilt. Either like maybe a 16 ounce or heavier wool, or a wool blend. I know the heavyweight Stillwaters are amazing as far as holding their pleats. The Irish saffron that I wear all the time, I don't press those pleats. They always fall properly. So we're all set with that one. So the next one we're going to talk about is my brother who the kilt got kilt, and this one, and I've got a few of these, and they're all basically my go-to kilts. I wear these all the time. They do me fantastically well. They fit even better, and they're not so light or of such construction where I have to worry about them coming apart or something snagging or things getting weird. But being a lighter, like a midweight, they do have, you do have to take care of the pleats every once in a while. And you'll see here in a sec what I mean. So, if you'll notice, this is the Brotherhood of the Kilt tartan from Got Kilt. You can get them there now. They're only like $100 and something odd, like low hundreds. I actually have my Brotherhood of the Kilt pin. There's a couple of people that are going to be getting those soon. This has a deeper pleat. If you'll look here, right here, the pleat here is about twice as deep as the other one. So you have about 2-inch or so pleat depth on this one. So there's a lot more material on there. 109. Thanks, Carl. So there's a lot more material on there. So it's going to start moving, and it's going to be fairly consistent. And you're going to know when when they're moving. But the other thing that it's going to also help you understand is if your kilts are flipped up, if your pleats are flipped, because these pleats right here, and this happens on all style kilts, these can get, if you get a kilt, or if you like go to the restroom or something like that, and your pleat gets hung up like that, walking around like that is kind of sucks. I've seen a few folks walk around like that, and I've like, hey, hang on, buddy, your pleats are flipped up. So if you see someone walking around with these and their pleats are flipped up like that, please just stop them and say, hey, check your pleats. So this is one of my go-to kilts. I wear these constantly, at least once a week, maybe twice, depending on which ones. The company you found, yeah, Dave. This is Got Kilt. I think we were talking about Sport Kilt, the ones you were asking about. Sport Kilt, Got Kilt, and Sport Kilt. Both of them awesome kilts. This happens to be the one in my tartan because Got Kilt is the one that they currently are the only ones who can make Brotherhood of the Kilt tartan. So that's where I get them all from. Yeah, Got Kilt's awesome. So, as you can see, the pleats, they move around pretty nicely, but because it is like a mid-weight, you do have to manage them a little bit because they can get rumpled and bent over. Like this one right here is kind of splayed open. Nothing a steamer can't fix. So, as you can see, they already start moving. Whoops, too fast. They already start moving, and you can tell because they move side to side as you're walking, and you can feel it against the back of your legs. Now, if your kilt is moving properly, when you take a step, when you move your foot back, the pleats will actually slide over, and you really won't hit it too bad. So this is the midweight synthetic. It's either a PV or acrylic. I don't remember which one. I'd have to ask Dirk. But fantastic kilt. The pleats just need a little bit of maintenance every now and again. If you hang up your kilts, you press them or you steam them a little bit. This kind before you go to anything that's formal or an event where looking your best is key. I would just hang them up, steam it a little bit, and let it go. So the next one is my handmade 1850 variant McTavish. It was made by Edgar of Scotland. I believe I got it from the folks over at ScotWeb. It's either a 16 or an 18 ounce. It is 100% Scottish wool. And it's awesome. Now, one thing I'll show you, and you'll see it really quick, is I have not done any maintenance to this kilt. I don't think I have steamed it once. No, I don't think I've ever steamed this kilt. I've worn it. I've washed it a couple of times in a bathtub, and this is it. This is the kilt. It was a handmade. So this is pretty much the top of the heap. This is probably, I think this one was $600 when I bought it, or not bought it, when I traded for it. I didn't actually buy it. I did a bunch of work for a guy and traded for it. So this right here, this is a very thick, heavyweight kilt. You'll see the pleats are very deep. Every pleat goes almost the entire length of my finger. Every one of them. So, and as you can see, I've not, like I said, I haven't done anything to manage these pleats, and they all fit, and they all fall exactly where they're supposed to be. Thanks, Dave. That's the point of these really nice, the handmade wool kilts, is they look awesome. They are just a bear on the wallet. So, as you can see, this one does fall a little low for me, but I don't do any hiking in this because it is my second most expensive kilt. My Brotherhood of the Kilt tartan that Matt Newsom sewed up when I registered the tartan, That one easily is the most expensive, and that one just sits in the closet because A, it's a box pleat that's not sewn, so the pleats get messed up pretty easily. 2, it's the very first brotherhood of the kilt tartan kilt in existence, and I'm not going to kill it. So this kilt is what you see a lot of bagpipers and performers and whatnot wearing a kilt are going to have something like this. And this is what you'll see when you see them walking. See, all of that just starts moving back and forth. And the longer the stride, the more it moves. So, when you're wearing a kilt like this, it gets attention. It goes all over the place. Running in one of these, it's like the Macy's Day Parade, the Macy's Day Parade, or the Macy's Christmas Day Parade. So, when you have a kilt like this, it really doesn't take a whole lot to maintain them, but you got to make sure that you keep them dry. And when you do hang them up, you actually hang them up someplace. Don't just chuck them in a pile somewhere and hope that they stay set. But when you do maintain these kilts, make sure you spend a good amount of time, because you know you spent a ton of money on it. And when you do put it on, you know that this is the one when you want to look your best, this is the kilt that you're going to throw on. Most people that I know can't afford more than a couple, if any, kilts of this caliber. So it's kind of like that nice outfit that you keep in the closet that you don't mess with. So just keep that in mind when you are storing your kilts. And try to make sure when you put them in the closet or wherever you store them, just check the pleats to make sure they're all straight. That way when you take it out to put it on, you don't have to mess with it any. So it's still cold out here. I don't know if you can see it. I've had it on here and I can still see my breath. So this is Everyday KT number 98, talking about the kilt and how it swishes. And the variations between the lighter kilts, the heavier kilts. If you want some attention, get a heavier kilt. The Stillwater heavyweights are great. Always a handmade 16-ounce kilt is going to get you all kinds of attention if you're walking around. And if you are looking just for S&Gs to see a reaction, go to a very populated place like a mall, if there's one near you that actually has people that go to it, and have a friend walk about 15 steps behind you and just observe. Follow you. Maybe take a couple of pictures of the reactions of people as you walk past them, because it's epic. I've done this a bunch of times. My sister, one time, she was in awe. The comments that you hear, I'd say 90% are awesome comments. The other 10% are people who either don't understand, don't know, or just have a very, very, very narrow view of what the world should be. So to that end, I hope you guys go out there and rock your kilt. Just remember to try to keep the pleat straight if you can when you store it. That way you don't have to futz with it the next day or the next whenever you pull it out of the closet. No kiltology tonight because well, it's been show and tell, and kiltology is all manner of show and tell. So until tomorrow, tomorrow's number 99, the last 2-digit everyday KT there is. Be strong, put a kilt on, and I will see you tomorrow night.